Hey guys, welcome to Make Shit Happen. This is episode number 32. I can't believe, man, it's already episode number 32. Seems like yesterday I started Make Shit Happen podcast, and I know there's a lot of things that have happened, and we've been derailed from our regular, the way we program it, because regularly we are bringing in guests and interviewing them, listening to what they're saying. But, with all this COVID-19 happening, social distancing and everything else, I really have not invited a lot of guests. I'm soon gonna be hoping that I can invite some guests and maybe interview them via Zoom and see what everybody else is thinking, and be working on that. But right now, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Tony Robbins says, and he says it best, if you don't plan in the spring, you'll be weeping in the fall. The meanings, if you don't have a plan for now, when this is all over, you'll be left behind trying to catch up. And that made me think about one thing, like, what does that mean? And I've said that before in my previous episodes, that right now is the time that you should have a plan moving forward, because all this COVID-19 and everything, it will be over soon. And we got to have a plan moving forward. We need to know how our business is going to sustain and how we're going to make our business different, because no doubt about it, all this is not going to change right away. Social distancing is going to become a norm, where we have, if you have a retail store, you got to figure out, okay, how are you going to get this, get people used to social distancing, how we need to make sure everything is sanitized all the time, how are we going to, how are we going to, embrace extreme precautions, cleanliness, sanitizing, face masks. Sales has always been like a transfer of emotion and the warmth, of shaking one's hand. And right now we're not shaking hands. We are staying away from each other. So how do we connect? If you don't have an online business, or if you don't have strong presence on online or social media, then you need to think about, how am I going to do that? Also said, stand guard at your mind every day. You don't want anything in your coffee. You got to watch your coffee. And it means that your worst enemy can put something sweet and your coffee in your coffee, and you might not know, but you might enjoy the coffee. But the best friend who's closest to you, if they put some kind of poison in there, and you might die. So, he said something about watch your coffee, and your best friend might have just put it accidentally. So you got to watch your coffee. And when they say watch your coffee, it's basically trying to say, like, watch your business, watch your household, watch your life, watch what's around you and surrounds you. In this time, we should be, if you are a business owner or you are head of an organization, you need to know how to communicate with your people. You don't want to over communicate with them, but you definitely want to communicate every 2-3 days. You're in front of people, talking about, reminding them what is more important, how business needs to be conducted. Also, one thing that we need to do in these times like this is empathy. Communicating empathy by saying, like, I understand these are hard times. I feel your pain. We are in this together. It helps you connect with your employees, with your workforce, with your audience, because they feel that you're human, and it understands, and they understand, and that you also have feelings. So empathy is very important. Empathy should be part of your daily life anyways, okay? Gratitude is one more thing that we need to be expressing at this time. Why gratitude is, you should be grateful. You should have, if you want to wake up in a good mood, then go to sleep with gratitude. Be grateful that, hey, God, thank you for protecting me from this, this disease that's out there, coronavirus. Letting me be healthy, and you should have gratitude for that. Your family is healthy. You're together with your family. You have there's tons of homeless people right now who don't have nowhere where they can self-quarantine, or people who are living with roommates and don't have their own place. So, and if you have your own place, and if you have your own house, and if you have your own space, and you have a job still, you should be grateful. You should express gratitude, because there's tons of people out there who don't have job, and that's stressing people. And some people, need someone to talk to. In my previous episodes, I talked about high school seniors, who They didn't get to enjoy their prom. They didn't get to enjoy, the graduations are now going virtual. I mean, so for their families, I mean, they will never be able to sit in that arena, watch 500, 600 students walk, and their grad walk on that stage, get that diploma and throw their cap. And I mean, all that celebration as a family, or that moment that, the special moment that you wait for 12, 14 years is going to be taken away from you. Guys, also, when you are communicating now, in these times, you gotta show, you need to show that you are in control of yourself and your business, and you're in control of the situation as best as you can. You have to have a plan to get out of the situation and move forward. So remember, empathy, authority, and communication. Those are three main things right now that we need to practice. If you don't communicate with your staff, then they don't know what is your plan. They're sitting wondering, are they going to have a job? I wonder how the company is doing, and all the other stuff. If you don't have the authority and you're saying with the plan, hey, this is the plan, if you're going to move forward and this is what we're going to do, then definitely that they are not sure that if you are the leader they want to work for, if you even have that leadership quality, or that will lead them in the right way and get them out of this situation. And if you don't show empathy, and if you don't practice empathy, then the human touch, the human aspect of it is out of it. So these things are very, very important. So if you have a business and you advertise in this business, right now is the time to keep advertising. You cannot take your budget from, let's say if it's $10,000 to zero. You cannot take your budget if it's $100,000 to $10,000. You got to make sure that you are, it's okay to make cuts, but it's not okay to, to bring it down to zero. Because, like Tony Robbins says, if you don't plant in the spring, you'll be weeping in the fall, because you have just cut off, and when everything comes back to normal, you'll be playing catch up. I definitely don't want to do that. Digital marketing. If you are not in the digital marketing arena, you definitely need to get yourself, take some classes, get some lessons how you can get more technology driven and, social media driven, digital, internet driven. Your website is not up to par. Get that up to par. If your website has not been updated, you need to update it. Now is the time to get some processes implemented and get them in place. So that way, when things get back to normal, you can't say, oh, you don't have that excuse. I'm too busy. I can't do this. I can't do that. You already have these processes you have implemented that you're implementing. Maybe anything, maybe price changes, maybe new rules, maybe, printing out the new handbook, printing out the new training manual, adding some things to the new training manual, adding something to the handbook, coming up with a brand new compensation plan, coming up with a brand new vacation, what your vacation package or your health benefit packages are, because this is the time. Take a look at your insurance policy, take a look at all your invoices, your vendor agreements, everything that you think will behoove you when business is back to normal. But right now you have enough time. That's what you should be doing. Like also your marketing messages. Your marketing messaging cannot be the same as it was prior to COVID-19. Post-COVID-19 era is going to be different. You cannot just be a, salesy message. You cannot just be like sell, sell, sell. Right now, you got same thing as you're doing with your employees. You got to do with the audience, your customer. Empathy. Okay. You got to tell them, hey, we understand these are unprecedented times, and everybody should stay home. All those kind of messages that gives the human touch, and that you are not out there just to make a dollar. So your marketing message needs to change, and you need to acknowledge that this is a reality. These are the times we're living in. Don't have a tone deaf approach. Like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on. COVID-19 is here, but I got to sell, and I got to make money. Money will come. The profit will happen. It will take care of itself. Also, The third, like I said, you got to stay in the game. You got to keep advertising. You got to keep buying. You got to, keep changing your rules and everything. Also, one thing that you got to do is you got to take care of your people. You cannot forget about that. Because if you are going to take care of your people, your employees, your workforce, the people who, are out there on the front line for you every day, if you're going to take care of them, then the people will take care of business and the profit will take care of it by itself. And I promise you that that's going to happen. You cannot think, well, for me to save the money, I gotta cut my people's pay and I gotta do this and I gotta do this. Because if you stay, in front of, if you take care of your people, people will take care of you. People don't, not all people are bad people. People will remember if you're gonna hold their hand and you're gonna take care of them. So, I mean, that's one thing that I will definitely, encourage everyone to do. Take care of your people because you are their leader. If they work for you, they believe in you and they trust in you. That's why they leave their home every day to come to work for you. And so you cannot turn your back, behind. You cannot turn your back for them right now when they need you. Right now, you everybody got to fight for survival. But at the same time, you cannot have you cannot think that right now is not time for me to grow. Because there are opportunities, because there's some people who are going to fail. So it's time for you to grow. I hope every one of you who is listening to this got the PPP loan. And if you went with the 3 big banks, and I don't want to say the name of the banks who kind of screwed a lot of their customers, now is the time to think about changing those banks from small banks to smaller banks, from big banks to smaller banks. That way those... because in times like this is when you need that personal touch. A lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, I'm with this big bank and they have thousands of branches and thousands of ATMs. But when times like these come, when you need the PPP loan, they're not there for you. And they only went for the people who had loans with them. And they went with their big customers or customers that they had relationship because those customers had loans with them. And they forgot about these small businesses. You should definitely think about walking away from them as soon as possible. The 3 big banks, I hope everybody know who I'm talking about there. They screwed thousands of customers. Today we found out have a big class action lawsuit against them in California because they did not help a lot of customers out on the PPP. You got to know your cash flow at this time, guys. You got to go know your cash flow. You got to go through your monthly expenses and highlight your biggest ones that aren't benefiting from or needing right now. A couple of things that we have: added expenses. If you have a retail store, you're constantly sanitizing, you're using masks, gloves, sanitation wipes, hand sanitizers. So, I mean, those are added expenses. So you got to figure out where you're going to go up and down to make sure you continue making profit. Don't forget, you cannot get short-sighted and forget about growing your market share. Right now is the time to grow your market share because there'll be a lot of opportunities. So you got to expand your opportunities. In a time of crisis, most of your competitors will be weakened, reactive, and often time paralyzed. That's a great opportunity to acquire a lot of market share. Go to a competitor to see if you can make a deal with them. Deals where they promote you, they introduce you, they sell your stuff or vice versa. When you build a great company, you need great people. Take care of your employees, and your employees will take care of you during this unprecedented time. I promise you that. Even though it feels unprecedented, it's not. We have not been through, we've been through all types of recession. 2008 was a big recession, 2001. This should be a lesson for all of us, how we can prepare for a situation like this, whether it's cash preservation, but you ensure, one thing you need to ensure, have a great team. Because if you have a great team, the team will take care of business. Be hopeful that this is temporary. It might last a little longer than expected, but it is temporary. And there's still light at the end of the tunnel because you need to see that light because the light is right there, my friends. Don't give up hope and don't stop working. Wake up every day. Take a shower every day. Go to work every day. Because some of you are in homes and cannot leave does not mean that there is no business is over. Business is there. Your shop might be closed. Your business might be closed. Your services might be closed. But you cannot, in your mind, you got to have that mindset. My business is open and I'm working on my business. I want you to think of this as a blessing, not a curse. Because while you're at home, you're making your business better. You got to implement sources that will make you stronger and you'll weather bigger storms than this. You got to have a plan. Hey, this is how my plan is. Maybe I need to have a budget. Maybe I don't need to drive that Lambo. Maybe I need to have a little, less expensive car. Maybe I don't need to live in a $7,000 a month apartment or $5,000 a month apartment. Or maybe my business, maybe my, expenses need to go down. Hey, you know what? Right now I'm not going out to eat every day. Guess what? During regular times, I need to do the same thing. Hey, you know what? Right now I'm ordering to go every day from restaurants. Maybe I need to cook some days at home, 3 days because I'm burning my cash. That all this needs to be going through your mind right now. How can I make my life better? How can I save more money? There's a lot of people that say, why do I save? I don't need to save. I'll die tomorrow and, all this money will go to waste. Well, times like this is when you save for. I'm not telling you, make $1, earn $100 and save 80 and only spend 20. I'm not saying that, but definitely when you earn $100, definitely save 20 and then spend the 80. You can't save, after you have spent all the money. You got to save before you spend. I've said that before a lot. I'm a big advocate of that. Save before you spend, and then whatever is left, then you spend that. Make $100, save 20. And right now, for some people, that might be the reality. They might be thinking, you know what? I did not save the money. And now with this COVID-19, I don't have a job. And I'm like shit out of luck. And I need to start saving. And so you need to make a plan that when things get back to normal, when your job goes back to normal, how are you going to save? What accounts are you going to open? Are you going to open up a savings account? Are you going to open an investment account? Are you going to go ahead and do like an Acorn account that takes your spare change and save it and invest it? What are you going to do? Everybody, you got to have a plan. Now is the time to make plans. I've said this a lot of time and I'm going to keep ranting on there. I'm going to keep saying that now is the time for you to make plans. Stop watching Netflix. Stop binge watching it. Stop drinking gallons and gallons of alcohol, tens and 20s of beers, just laying on the couch and wasting your time. Because at the end of the day, this is still our lives and we still need to improve it. Promise you, things are going to go back to normal. I promise you. If you want to bet on somebody, bet on America. Okay. And COVID-19, I know as serious it is, and everybody should stay home. You cannot stop living. You cannot live in fear for the rest of your lives. I hope if you can take one beneficial thing out of this, it'll change your life. If you liked it and if you think this was good, please do share. Also, I'm on social media on Instagram at Life of Super Sammy Z. I'm also on, LinkedIn and Facebook and all this interview is also on video on YouTube at Life of Super Sammy Z. You can find me on YouTube. Thank you for listening to Make Shit Happen. Again, you could have been anywhere, but you over here. I appreciate it. Thank you.